Welcome to Man Matters Podcast, where combat sports, mindset, and real-life lessons collide. Hosted by Dervin and Nate, we dive into Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, MMA, and the grind that shapes athletes inside and outside the mat. Every episode we bring stories, strategies, and raw conversations that fuel growth, resilience, and community. Stay tuned because it's more than a fight, it's a lifestyle. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Let me ask you something. Is Penn State building the most dominant modern dynasty we've ever seen in college wrestling? What does a 14-to-1 takedown ratio really says about a program? Is it talent? Is it culture? Is it system? Or is it something deeper? And zooming out even farther, is the UFC actually merit-based anymore? Do rankings still matter? Or are we living in an era where marketability beats performance? And here's the uncomfortable one. Where do we draw the ethical line in competition? Just because something is legal, does that mean it's right? And maybe the biggest question is, what happens when the most dominant grappler of this era walks away from the sport? Today we are unpacking all of it. We're breaking down Penn State 36-5 dismantling Ohio State and the insane 14-to-1 takedown ratio. We're talking about the match of the night, the statement's wins, and whether this program is entering dynasty territory. We'll dive into Jax Forrest's comeback after being down 6-1 early and what that tells us about championship composure. The Blaze brothers are now 37-0 combined. Can they do something we have never seen before? Two brothers winning national titles at two different schools. In grappling, we just saw UFC fast submission, UFC BJJ, a 90 seconds leg lock. We'll discuss Cain Velasquez being released and what redemption means in combat sports. We're going to address the UFC roster controversy, ranked fighters cut, others staying despite losing streak. Is this meritocracy or business? We'll talk about Gordon Ryan announcing his retirement and what it means when a generational figure steps away. And then something we teased in a previous episode might actually be happening. Ronda Rousey is coming out of retirement to face Gina Carano, two pioneers, on May 16th, and it will be on pay-per-view. It'll be broadcasted globally by Netflix. It is the first ever MMA. Legacy, merit, ethics, dominance, entertainment. Today we are connecting all of it. Let's start in college wrestling. How's it going, man?
It's going good.
Man, it's a lot to unpack tonight. What's going on? First, we're going to start Penn State versus Ohio State. How nuts is that they were able to beat Ohio State, considering the Ohio State was the team that won the duels in national earlier, I think it's November. What I think that made it kind of funny was because the coach from Ohio State before the event, all the coaches that were participating in the national duels, they asked him about what he felt about the tournament, and he criticized Penn State for not being part of the national duels tournament. He said that it shows that Penn State don't really care about the sport, and the best teams are in there, and they won the tournament, and now they went against Penn State, and they got dominated. They won 9-1, literally. That's all the matches, except for one. Oh, it's insane that they would be able to be the second best team
Yeah.
in the nation.
Wow. Yeah, he ate his words on that one.
Yeah, dude, it was so bad that he was rubbing his face mid-duel.
Oh, no.
You know it's bad when you're eating your own words. It's like, dude, what the fuck are we doing? Also, it's insane that Penn State has a 14-to-1 takedown ratio average for every duel. 14 takedowns and one takedown they give away.
I mean, that's unbelievably decisive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know how else to say that.
yeah. We consider that like a system dominance.
What's that?
We consider that like a system of dominance. You know
I
how
would say so.
the Gordon Ryan has a systematic working different things, different breaking down part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because Penn State, I think they broke the record for most points scored in a national duel the last 2 years. Last year, they cleared the competition by 100 points. and they had 10 All-Americans. All the weight classes had an All-American. And usually when they see a team that's dominating, as the year goes by, you see that other teams are catching up to them, trying to figure it out. But they look like every duel, they're just getting better and better and better. So how can you catch up to that?
Are they recruiting good people? I mean, they must have a good program. If they're continuously getting better, it has to be a good program.
Yeah.
But are they recruiting just the absolute best guys? Or
they have some good guys in there. For example, the Mirasola brothers, both of them were on the Ben Askren in Wisconsin. Mitchell Messenbrick from Wisconsin. You have the guys too. Josh Barr, he's an outscoring machine, even though he's 197. Usually you see him 197 scoring a lot of points, but he likes to score and score and score, which is good. You want to see in a wrestler, because the more they score, the more they look for opportunities to get better. And even if they're losing, they always find a way to score. That's always something you want to see. His conditioning is good. Skill gap wise, they have the videos of what they do. They call the Weldon drill, the ankle pick, the way they go to attacks, the reshot, and you can see all of them. They do kind of the same thing, clear out the head, tie up, and you see what they're doing, and they're not be able to stop it. That's the crazy thing.
That's some of the scariest game out there. Is
you
know what's coming, but you just don't have a method to stop it.
Yeah, just like Hardy Gracie. You know what he's doing. You can see what he's doing, and it's fundamental stuff, and it's hard to.
They just do it so well. Yeah.
And it's not somebody that's really explosive. And I think Ohio State, their strength conditioning is good. The guys, you can see that they put time in the weight room. Penn State, they just play freaking pickleball and dodgeballs before practice and just practice. Not like, they don't look like, they just like dick around and they just drill a lot and do a lot of flow rolling too in there. That's how they get better in their technique. So instead of working technique of a single move, they work sequences.
Yeah, that always seems to be most effective.
Because even when you're out of position, you know what to do from there.
That's the thing, though. I mean, just drilling sequences, because then even if your mind is overwhelmed by everything, your body can kind of just do the flow. It doesn't matter.
And you feel comfortable, especially if you're in a room of world champions and national champions.
True. Yeah. What's your opponent gonna have on your teammate? Yeah.
The worst guy that you go against in your training room. And everybody else look like slow motion.
Yeah.
And everything they do. One thing to mention too is Ohio State had two other guys. Number 6, Ethan Styles, 149, and number 5, Carson Karkla. He's a Russian at 174. Well, does that change? And do you think? I don't think it would change much because they lost 9-1 at the duel, all the matches. Some of them were bonus points too. Some of the guys got pinned. I don't know if they will make much of a difference. They'll probably be still dominated because the guys that they were facing, they were number 1 seed in the country. The guys that are missing, the guys that they'll be facing, they'll be number 1 guys. Like Levi Haynes, he's a 2-time finalist, 3-time All-American for Penn State. So I don't know if it will be much difference. Or they will still get dominated regardless.
Yeah. I mean, hard to say. But
something scary about the team. They only have 1 senior. So all of them are coming back except for 1. Yeah. They have 6 number 1 guys in the country. And I think 6, and they have 7 undefeated guys in their roster. 7 out of 10.
Is it a pretty even spread other than that?
As far as
to junior?
In their as far as their classes, I think they have a couple of juniors there. For example, I think Cain Velasquez is a junior. But yeah, PJ Duke is a freshman. I know Luke Lillehall is a freshman. They have Ono coming next year. He's redshirting this year. He's from Japan. Nasty when it comes to international.
Wow.
Freestyle. I think he's a world gold medalist in the senior level. He's in their team as well. I mean, it's a thing about it. It's no recruiting. It's one thing when you recruit in your country. Imagine recruiting worldwide.
Right. That's crazy. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. I mean, the best education is the United States. If you need to get the best education in the United States and you want to wrestle, holla at your boy. We'll figure it out.
Right. We'll get you over.
We'll figure it out. We get you sushi ready. We got you ramen. Anything you want, man, we'll set it up. We got you. But
That's, I mean, that is pretty crazy though. That's got to help as well. I mean, what you're saying is, if your best opponent is going to be, probably at the same level as your regular teammate that you're training with, but really that's got to play a huge role when you have a whole team. They say iron sharpens iron, but the entire team is that high level, then your training sessions are going to be phenomenal. And
yeah,
you're going to improve. Like, yeah, that's interesting to think about, just because other teams, if you have one star player, even if he's phenomenal, he's not getting the same reps that these guys are.
yeah. It's nuts. I think most of the US U23 Penn State guys. So that's crazy. So you're good nationally here in the college and also internationally. You have to have you guys that made the US team.
Mm-hmm.
So you have wealth of experience. So not so much that you wrestle, because usually wrestling is during the season from like October to March. But then if you're wrestling during the off season internationally, you're wrestling the whole time. So you're only getting better. It's nuts. Some people are training part-time. It's also the equivalent of you doing gi for during 5 months a year, and the other 7 months a year you're doing no gi. So you're only getting better. And that has to account for something, for them getting better as a program. One of the matches of the night was Dylan Fishback versus Rocco Welch. Rocco Welch, he made it to the finals 2 years ago. He used to wrestle for Ohio State, but he transferred to Penn State. Dylan Fishback, he wrestled for NC State, but he transferred to Ohio State because he's from Ohio. Dylan Fishback was winning against Rocco Welch. He had a nice low single. He scored Rocco Welch twice. Rocco Welch, I think he's number one in the country now. He beat Angelo Ferrari from Iowa earlier in the season, which was number one at the time. He's currently in injury. So Rocco Welch is number one, and Dylan Fishback was able to score well on him twice a day. And then he came down to the last minute or so, and Rocco Welch scored him. Dylan Fishback was gassed out with the conditioning. I don't know. I don't want to assume, but sometimes whenever you get excited when you're winning up and you're like, dude, I'm winning, and then you let adrenaline get to you. And also, it looked like he was taking his sweet time. Whenever they go out of bounds, Rocco Welch would come to the middle, but Dylan Fisher will circle around, trying to go to the middle, adjust his knee pad, and then get in position so to kind of like get his win back. So he was losing the mental battle, and he catches up to you. If you lose that, you run out of gas before the match is over.
For sure.
Especially in a close match. And that looks like that's what happened in there.
Interesting.
But it was a good match, both of them going against each other. Another interesting match was Mirasola. I think he's 12th in the country. He lost against Ferrari, but he was going against Nick Feldman. He's number 3 in the country. He beat Ferrari twice this year in duels and also during the national duels and then regular duel, which makes it interesting for the postseason season because Mirasola lost to AJ Ferrari, but Nick Feldman lost to Mirasola, and Feldman beat AJ Ferrari twice. So I don't know if it'll be Mirasola be higher than Feldman and then Feldman above AJ Ferrari because he lost twice against him.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah, because usually the higher seeding, the better you're placed in a tournament. So number 1 seed, I think he gets a bye. No, he doesn't get a bye. He has to wrestle the guy that's wrestle the pigtail. They had a pigtail for nationals, so it should be a 32-man bracket where they put a pigtail. So they had a 33rd person. So they have a 33rd can wrestle the first round, and then they have the actual real round where whoever makes it's kind of like a buy-in to the tournament. So you have to wrestle your way into the tournament. So if number 32 and 33 wrestle each other, whoever wins out of those two makes it to the nationals. It's a last minute ticket to get to nationals.
Dang, I bet that's an intense little match.
Oh yeah, going for everything in there. But but then whoever wins that goes over the number 1 seed in the tournament. So that's what makes it interesting for nationals. But for these 3 guys, I'm not sure heavyweight how they will go. Number 1 is Bastida from Iowa State. He's Cuban wrestler. That's also interesting. Iowa State has a lot of Cubans in their team.
Interesting.
Um, But we'll see how they get seated later on. On Sunday, they have Duel Oklahoma State versus Virginia Tech. It is interesting how Oklahoma State goes against their one team that their name is the Cowboys, but actually they could wrestle like Cowboys because they wrestle teams that are not even in their conference. For example, I think they're in the Big 12. I think that's what it's called. They go in the Big 10 and wrestle some of their guys in there. For example, they're wrestling Iowa this weekend. They were against the ACC team last Sunday. So even though they're not wrestling people in their own conference, they wrestle people that are teams that are one of the top teams in their conference, and go against them throughout the year. So their guys have matches.
Interesting. Okay.
Hey, do you want to get you guys better?
Good experience. Yeah.
Yeah. You face them during the year, so you can see what you can look for nationals. And one of the matches that was really interesting was Jax Forrest versus Aaron Sadell. Both of them undefeated freshmen coming in there. They won all the matches except for one, fall or tech fall, just bonus points against their guys. At the beginning of the match, Jax Forrest was down 6-1. The first one was Jax Forrest was going for a takedown. He stayed on his knees. He got pancaked to his back. Then the second one was he got a single in Sadell, and he was able to get a takedown, sweep his legs, secure the takedown. But then after that, Jax Forrest, these kids nowadays, they do a weird takedown in which they go for a takedown, and the guy that defends usually try to reach for the ankles to prevent the guys from cutting the corner or building up. But what Jax Forrest does a lot, whenever he shoots, he keeps his heels to his butt and he arches back. So when the person's trying to reach for the ankles, they go straight to the back and get back points. He just lands on top of them. So they count them back points like 1, 2, 3. So like what they get back points, close to 3 points that he gets. Which
Wow. Okay.
Interesting during that match. He was able to win that way. He got taken down, I think, 3 times during the match, but still was able to find a way to win the match.
That's pretty cool. Definitely no quit there.
No, that was the equivalent as flipping the momentum on the match, and they wrestle like their dogs' life were on the line. That's look like they were wrestling. Both of them, they were going at each other, and that's what you want to see freshmen going. You want to see no quitting them, and that's what I think that separates like elite competitors versus good ones. They're able to put out there on the line and find ways to improve, regardless if they lose. It was a 10-9 match. It was like a really close match.
Yeah.
So it helps them build during the season to when they go to nationals. They have those close matches. You're right there, man. You're 1 point away from tying up and going to overtime. You might be able to win overtime too. But that was an interesting match, both of them, especially 133 pound. That weight class looked like it's tag. They have those two in there. I think they have Davino for Ohio State. Marcus Blaze is in there too. So it's a lot of guys in there. But what makes it crazy is that some of those guys, they also you have Lucas Burr, 133. He's a returning national champion for Illinois. I know you've seen the video of the guy that his girlfriend is like 6'4" and he's like 5'4".
Yeah.
He's a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's him. He's a national champion.
Okay.
For Illinois. She's like a volleyball player and he's a wrestler. Short Kings
That's
the win.
right.
Represent the dog on him. But speaking of the Blaze, Marcus Blaze, his brother wrestled for Purdue. He got a big win this weekend against Mikey Caliendo. I think he's number 3, Mikey Caliendo. He was national finalist last year for Iowa. But both of the brothers, Joey and Marcus Blaze, they're up 37-0 combined. The record. Question is, can they become the first brothers to win national titles in 2 different schools? Both of them. Make it interesting.
That would be.
But like I was saying, that in that they have an obstacle. They have Marcus Blaze. He has to go through Lucas Burr, which is the national champion returning out of Illinois. And his brother Joey has to go through Mitchell Mesenberg, which is he only lost 1 match. Was his freshman year. He was in the finals of nationals against David Carr, a guy that he's no longer wrestling in college. And he's probably the contender for the Hush Trophy. which is like the Heisman of college wrestling.
Okay.
So it's a tall task that Joey has to go through. Will the dominance be sustainable? Who's in their path in their weight class? Joey might have a easier path than the Marcos, because Marcos has they have Lucas Bird, he has Sadell, he has Jax Forrest in his bracket, Davino from Ohio State. They have all those guys in 133 in the bracket. So it'll be a rare scenario if both of them win nationals in two different schools.
That's I mean, it wouldn't be impressive if it wasn't difficult,
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it would be plenty impressive then.
Yeah. If both of them win, especially that's kind of like the debate of nature versus nurture. Is it really their genetics that are really that good at wrestling that are able to both of them be national champions, or is it the environment in which they're training? Because they're two different schools, but they
Right.
still be able to race to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the culture of the team itself, but their upbringing and their habits that they have as far as they build up at the earlier years, which make it interesting. Which would you check it up to? Out of those two, nurture versus nurture?
I don't know. Genetics may have something to do with it. I mean, it almost definitely does, but I hate to give too much stock to that, because I feel like giving too much stock to genetics kind of takes away from their work, because you don't make it that far, no matter how genetically gifted you are, without putting in crazy amounts of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody's doing work. You got so many people with so many different backgrounds, and they're all there. They're all extremely good. Yeah, I feel like genetics is kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. Also, their upbringing too.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I have to, when they get to a certain age, they have to make their own decisions. They have
Yes.
to wake up early in college and go to practice, go to all the
Mm-hmm.
classes. Because how many times you see a scenario of kids that were A/B on a roll in high school, but they went to high school, they were just complete fuck ups.
Yeah.
How many times you seen that?
Yeah. I mean,
So it has to be, to a certain extent, they have to make their own decisions.
mm-hmm.
So it doesn't check it up to nature, but not nurture, but they're able to find a way to
Right.
win, being good habits. But only ones I can remember was Dave Schultz and Mark Schultz. That's the only one that I can remember. Both brothers, they won nationals. They won wrestle for Oklahoma. I can't remember what the other one wrestled. But both of them won nationals, but they didn't win at the same time. And both of them were world champions for the US. But it'd be nice to see that again.
Right.
I think NC State had two brothers, Trent and Hayden Hiley. They're the only brothers that were 5-time All-Americans. That's because of COVID. They got extra year of wrestling. So the only brothers that were 5-time All-American. They have a couple of brothers that were 4-time All-Americans, but I think they're the only ones that were 5-time All-American.
That's funny. And there probably won't be any more anytime soon.
No, unless it's a world pandemic again. Now switching now to a different sport for BJJ. UFC BJJ was last week. They have Jalen Fonacier. He had a 19 seconds leg lock. That's the fastest submission in UFC BJJ history. Do you think that leg locks are considered the new age fast knockouts of grappling?
They gotta be. Yeah. That's the only thing that you hear about that, happening that quickly. Maybe some wrist locks back in the day, some like gi wrist lock stuffs that aren't even like legal in a lot of places. Those sometimes are fast, but leg locks are the only thing that are consistent.
Yeah. You can definitely tell when they're standing up how fast knockout they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're feeling it still. Now, what do you think makes leg locks so dangerous at the elite level?
That's a good question.
Because I have a theory of what's hypothesis that makes it
Yeah.
dangerous is usually the game of jiu-jitsu is a lot of guard play, but with leg locks, you negate a lot of people's guard. Because the first thing you can attack is their feet
Right.
and their leg.
Right.
You have to control their feet and their hips at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It negates their guard.
Yeah. And
then after that, they want to defend their legs and lose their guard, which doesn't make Corona really good. Because after that, he start working back controls.
Mm-hmm.
because it takes away their legs as their guards from their
Yeah,
opponents.
true. I guess really the the legs and the feet are the first thing that you encounter where you can be in control. Because you can stand up and you can, obviously you can reach the arms, you can reach the neck, but while you're standing up, it's really hard to be in control, to like really lock somebody down. But the feet are kind of different in that that's somebody's guard, probably. Yeah, no, I think you're right. That being like kind of the first line of defense for most people is the feet.
And then you can also attack from bottom and top too, in which also is you usually see a dominance of people from doing top game, but for leg locks, you can do a lot of attacks from bottom. Most of the attacks are from bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You get leg entries from bottom.
Yeah.
Ashy, they do all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Attacks is from bottom. Very seldom you see attacks from top going to leg entries.
And I feel like also maybe it also has something to do with, I feel like when defending leg locks, there's a lot of good practices. When you're defending like arm bars or your neck or something, I feel like there's techniques to avoid those. And there are for the legs as well. But I feel like a lot of that is like, you have to implement good practice to avoid that your legs get locked down, because you can't really reach down there. Some of the time you can't even see what's going on down there when somebody's attacking your feet. So it's kind of like you have to, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, the defense just seems different to me than the techniques that you can use to avoid, getting armbarred or getting choked out.
Do you think it was the service that Jiu-Jitsu, especially in the gi, they frown upon the leg lock for so long that put a lot of people behind? Because they were, like Dean would talk about, if the arm lock was the king and the chokes were the queen, leg locks were considered as the joker, the thief, in which they just frown upon. And then a lot of people were behind because they frown upon that, because they're afraid of injuries. First of all, safety in the gym. But if you're able to defend it in the gym, you're not able to defend it in competition either.
Right.
For those that would practice in their own gym.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, you gotta teach them now. I mean, really, you gotta teach them from the start. You just have to be, careful with it. Let people know that that's a good way to hurt people. I think maybe it's a little bit old fashioned on my part to think this way, but I do get a little frustrated when people come out of the gate, they don't know anything else, and they only attack the legs. Like they never learn any other aspect for a while. To me, that's a little frustrating, but at the same time, they'll win competitions by doing that if they can get to blue belt where it's legal. So, I mean, it yields results. I just feel like, I don't know, there's more to the game than just leg locks, and you probably should know more than just those.
Yeah, I agree with you, because it does win competition, but stagger their growth in the game.
Yeah.
Because you can list so much, but if you only fixate it on winning rather than growing, you only go stuck on there, because eventually it's a freaking live by the sword, die by the sword kind of thing. You eventually find somebody that's better at leg locks than you.
Right. Or just has some like natural genetic thing that you can't use that against them. You know what I mean?
Like, have you seen Laura's ankles?
No.
She had like ballerina ankles.
They twist like crazy.
Yeah.
So
they don't work on her. Heel hooks don't work on her.
Yeah, exactly. You're always going to run into somebody who's got something that just counters your game completely, and you have to switch it up. Yeah.
You have to learn. And then that's the thing. You have to fall in love with the sport, and you have to fall in love with learning. And that's how you get better. If you don't focus so much on winning every single round, you just focus on learning.
Right.
Because is it good? Well, that's the economy. It is. Remember the Bruce Lee saying, "Do you rather do 1,000 a move one time, or just do one move 1,000 times?" Yes, good, but you also have to learn other things too. Right. Especially somebody will get good at defending that one move.
Right. Yeah.
And a safer place to try is in the gym too.
Yeah, and Oh, that's the thing though. I mean, jujitsu. So many people compare it to chess. If all you have is a knight, you're gonna get checkmated. You
Hmm.
know, it like yeah, you can have a really good knight, but
Hmm.
yeah, it just you have to have other things in your arsenal.
Yeah. Even Roger Gracie, he does a lot of fundamental stuff that you know what he's
Yeah,
doing, but he's
yeah,
not just doing the same move, just an arm bar, just a triangle.
right.
He does different things, and he's really good at.
Hmm.
And you know what he's doing. It's not something out of the left field,
Yeah, yeah.
but he's also good at defending those other things too.
Hmm.
That's to be able to get better at his game. Fundamental is doing stuff that's good and still be able to finish you.
I mean, yeah. There's a reason they're fundamentals. There's a reason that I mean, yeah, it's the basics that everybody learns is because they work really well. They're very tried and true.
Yeah,
But it is I don't know. I do absolutely love watching the pros who are not doing anything fancy.
yeah,
That to me is amazing. I don't know. It's like a proof of the art, basically.
yeah.
The guys that have just a nasty guillotine, nasty armbar, just like,
Like
very
Marcelo,
basic. Yeah,
Marcelo's north south.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's just, what's coming. You can't stop it though, because he's that good.
Hmm.
It just really, it's amazing to me.
Hmm. Another one that speaking of leg locks, I know Elmore. He's the 19-year-old. I don't know if you remember him from EBI where he'll hook your boy. What's his name? Bryce Mitchell in EBI. This is like
My
a
boy.
um that he submitted him really fast EBI. He's 19 years old. He went against Gabriel. He's the one that went against Musmeshi in the first UFC BJJ for the title.
Okay.
But they were doing the 145 this time. It's a one weight class up because that weight class is still open for a championship. Elmore is 19 years old and Gabriel is 23 years old. Youth versus experience is the debate, but it's 4 year difference. It's nuts. Almost 4 year of competition and training is a difference. It's kind of like the difference between a freshman in college and a senior in college.
Hmm.
And how nuts is just within those 4 years, because how long people live and compared to just those 4 years, how much difference that makes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very amazing. Yeah, it can be motivational and a little
Mhm.
discouraging at the same time.
Yeah, that's why it
But
feels like it's an outlier when considering it's a young man's sport, but it's an outlier whenever a high school kid beat a senior level person because the experience that they have
right,
gone through. Kind of that I had to talk with one of the kids because one of the teams I help is they have this guy that he's a 3 time state champion. He's only lost once in high school. And then they say like, yeah, this guy is really good. He doesn't do anything wrong. Like, dude, trust me, he's been training since he was crawling. His dad is a wrestling coach. So he has done more mistakes than you have won matches in your whole life. That's why he's so good. And that
that
experience adds up.
yep, that's a great way to put it.
So anything that you're doing, especially in the grappling world, you have to put in your time.
Hmm. There's no doubt.
It's part of the development system that you get better that way.
Yep.
Another match we didn't talk about today was Walter Walker, which is Johnny Walker's brother. Walter Walker, he's a lot of heel hook guy. Do you think it's a controversy that he's going against legless opponent Cyan, which is Walter Walker is a heavyweight because he's going against somebody that's 155 with legs. He went for attack for a heel hook, but eventually he was able to win by rear naked show because he was able to go for a heel hook. But he went for the phantom leg. Do you think it's unethical for them to sanction that exhibition match, or do you think it's kind of like give avenue for somebody to try a sport, even though they're handicapped?
I don't think that's unethical at all. Why? If the guy, I mean, sure, the guy's handicapped, but like, if he wants to give it a shot and he's, a serious contender, why not?
Yeah,
I just, yeah, it's kind of one of those things like the guy proved himself coming out through. I take it.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the guy, but
Yeah, he was in he has a Netflix documentary. Zion is the name of it. He tried high school wrestling for I don't know how long he did it. I remember the documentary was for a season. I don't know how long he was being wrestling. But it is yeah, I agree with you. The only thing that makes it unethical is if the other guy picks him up and slam him. That would be fucked up.
well, yeah, true. Yeah, you might have to lay down a couple ground rules here.
Did I see the video with the guy that was really small going against like a football player? He's grabbing with the wrist and started spinning him around.
Yes.
If you did that shit to him, that'd be fucked up.
That would be, yeah, that would be.
Throw him into the crowd, throw a t-shirt.
Yeah. I mean, they do a lot of the. That's crazy.
Out of pocket. How did he lose? He didn't make it back into the ring in the 10-second count. Kind of like WWE. It tells him into the top deck.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't have a leg. He's not like he can run back. But yeah, I agree with you. It's not unethical, immoral. Man, the guy want to try out, but you want to shove down his dream. Don't shove him at the leg. Try to go for something else. Now, next topic is the UFC roster that they're doing, the roster shakeup. I don't know. Hunter Campbell is the main guy that should make his decision. It was Giotto and made that he lost 2 matches. The last one was Asadesic, if best, because he was getting pushed against the fence, and the guy was just holding against the fence for all 3 rounds. Considering the guy is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, he wasn't able to do much out of there, no takedowns. He was number 8 rank, but he was released by the UFC after 2 losses. Another example was Gilbert Burns. He was released from the UFC, just to make an example. Somebody that's getting released. But meanwhile, Tai Tuivasa, heavyweight, favorite for the UFC as a lot of fans for his Shui. Cheers. He still is in a 6-5 losing streak.
Yeah.
Do you think the UFC is doing our merit base? Those cuts?
I mean, it doesn't look like it. Although there's not a lot of people in the heavyweight, right?
No, that's what I was talking to one of my coworker earlier. That division looks thin. Because it's heavyweights, thick guys. It's a thin division. It's the most marketable weight class too.
Well, exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking is like maybe, I mean, that I could see playing into it because, people love to see that it's already a light division. So you can't, that I'm sure that plays into it quite a bit. Cutting the number 8 guy, that doesn't, I don't know, that doesn't check out with me. I can't make that logical.
Yeah.
Other than, maybe he's not selling tickets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in that thin division, you don't want to cut the top guys. That's what I want to try to figure out. Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
I understand you want to put fire under them as far as making them compete. If you're not showing any results, we're cutting you out of here.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But you want to push them to incentivize them, perhaps do bonus or something like that for them to, unless they have somebody, Gable Stevenson, they want to add to the roster. They want to do some cuts in there in that weight class. That makes sense. But that's not a guarantee that he'll be a top 10 guy either.
Right.
There's no point of cutting somebody in the top 10 for somebody that's no guarantee. But chances are he'll probably be top 10. I mean, he's Olympic gold medalist. He has fast hands, really athletic, can do a backflip standing up and shit.
Yeah.
There's no telling. There's no, for sure he'll be one of the top guys. It's just a matter of time making it into a roster and who he faces.
Mm-hmm.
And he not just athletically gifted, and he has good background. He also has John Jones and one of his training coaches.
Mm-hmm.
His manager too, probably. So that will help him somehow in the business, getting top matches.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. But does this decision be made based off rankings or marketability as far as the UFC roster cut up?
I would imagine that both have quite a bit to do with it. Yeah, it's so hard to say. I mean, Dana, obviously, he runs a good business, and to do that, you have to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think he prides himself in having like the top fighters in the world, in my opinion. I know one's got some very good guys, but I think the UFC has the best right now.
The gold standard.
Exactly. I really think that's right. It's based off of it's almost a prestige thing because it's not really pay.
Hmm.
UFC pay doesn't match some other promotions, but
Yeah,
still
sponsorship
people.
too, because
Yeah,
whatever they don't make in the UFC pay or other organization, they can make it in sponsorship wise.
yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. 'Cause I don't think I would imagine both come into play. Both the tickets sold by the guy and maybe their activity has something to do with it as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're a high rank, but they're not super active lately. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or he's turning down fights too against top guys too. That's
That
what makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, because I could see 100% cutting somebody who was doing that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that makes sense. It's no good for business. We have you here for fighting. You don't want to fight. What
Yeah.
are we doing? Speaking of heavyweights, another former heavyweight, Cain Velasquez, was released from jail in February 15. He was in jail because attempted murder for the guy that molested one of his kids. He went on a rampage chasing for him. A lot of the public reaction was they didn't agree with him doing jail time, but the judge was trying to make an example that people did not take justice to their own hands, in
Hmm.
which Cain Velasquez agrees with. He apologized for that, but he still had to do jail time.
Hmm. He did a fairly light sentence, though, correct? It was a few months, right?
11 months he did in jail
Yeah.
for all
I
the time that he already did.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that because, like, yeah, you can't have everybody just doing that. I mean, I don't disagree with him. I'm not saying, I don't think he was wrong for doing it, but you can't have people doing that on the regular. So you have to punish them.
Mhm,
I mean, it seems like that's fairly light, 11 months in prison.
mhm.
I mean, it's a lot, but it could be
Yeah,
far worse.
yeah, yeah. Especially for attempted murder, that was that he was
Right.
charged with,
Yeah.
which should be, I think, second degree murder that he was charged
Okay.
with. But man, it's sad that he had to be punished longer than the guy that actually did the crime.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
That's
the fucked up part about it.
that is fucked up. That's really
And you want to add insult to injury? Um, the father, which got shot of the suspect,
yes.
he was suing Kim Velasquez's family for injuries. Yeah, how fucked up is that? In which he was and that's all. The dad of the suspect was the owner of the daycare that Kim Velasquez's kid was going to.
Yeah, he's just as liable. What the
Yeah,
Yeah.
how fucked up is that?
Yeah.
He was sheltering the suspect too, which is
That's
all fucked
crazy.
up all over. But also, it is kind of not refreshing, but it's different because a lot of UFC fighters that get in trouble, they go do jail time because they do mess up things.
Right.
But Cain Velasquez, he did things out of rage. It was
Mhm.
premeditated. And he seems like a nice guy that don't deserve to kind of like you feel like you want to empathize with him, but also you have to hold him accountable to a certain extent too
Right. Right.
for the actions that he did. But I'm glad that he's back with his family, which that's one thing he wanted to protect, that he's close to them now.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things like I get it, he's got to do the punishment, but I also, definitely there's respect for, his actions. To me, that it seems like a respectable thing to do to protect your family to that extent.
Yeah. In which people will agree with him.
Yep.
Most people will agree on what he did. Especially something how many people had gotten off of worse things
Yeah.
by bleeding insanity.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
But I'm glad that he's back home and he's
For
free
sure.
now.
Yeah, that's very good news.
And he seems like he helped a lot of people that were in jail too when he was doing jail time, which I also helped for his parole. He was doing like a lot of breathing exercises and different stuff in jail. He was doing courses about that because somebody
Interesting.
did like a podcast with him. I don't know how they do it from jail, but they did a podcast series with him when he was in
Huh.
jail. He was
That's
doing classes for breathing exercises, all that stuff.
interesting. That'd be
Yeah,
that's quite an experience for the prisoners.
yeah. Because I don't think he'd be able to run a self-defense class in prison.
Might be frowned upon. Yeah.
Unless he was a prison guard, then yeah. But other than that, no, I don't think he was
Oh,
doing
right.
one. Okay, next, we're gonna talk about super fight era and platform shift with the announcement of Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey on Netflix. Ronda Rousey returning from retirement. Gina Carano versus Gina Carano, May 16. It will be broadcasted in Netflix, which will be the first MMA event. Just for context, Gina Carano was the first. I think her versus Cyborg was the first main event with Strikeforce for women's female MMA ever.
That's crazy.
Back in 2009, and that's the last time Gina Carano fought.
In her 40s, correct?
I want to say yes. I'm about to be 38 this year, so she's older than me. She was competing in 2009.
Yeah.
So she's 43 years old. Predominantly a Muay Thai fighter when she used to compete MMA. She's going against Ronda Rousey, which was the first women's champion for the UFC, which was against Liz Carmouche. I'm not sure. I have to look it up. The first female main event, was it her? UFC 157. Yep, it was her versus Liz Carmouche. February 23rd, 2013. So both of them are, as far as ticket sales, they were up there. Legacy versus Merit, in which I'm not sure. How do you see this fight going?
It's so, I don't know. I think it's really hard to say because I mean, it used to be Ronda's bread and butter, this sort of thing. But she's been out of it. I don't know if she's been training. But I don't know. I'm really, I'm lost.
I think Ronda Rousey has been more active than Gina Carano.
Yeah.
When it comes to like the retirement. I can remember when Ronda Rousey retired. It was against Nunes. When was that? That was in 2016, 10 years ago. Gina Carano was 2009 against Chris Cyborg. Since not since Gina, but since Rousey retired, she'll be doing WWE stuff. And also, you've seen videos of her training. I haven't seen Gina Carano videos of anything, competing for anything. She was in The Mandalorian. She's doing a lot of acting. I don't know how much training she was doing that time.
Yeah.
But also they're fighting at 135. Have you seen their face off?
I think so, yeah.
Do you see how much bigger Gina Carano looks than Rousey?
No, I didn't notice.
Here's a picture. Both of them. Look at the shoulder and the torso between the two of them.
Wow.
Let me see this here.
No kidding.
Yeah. And she's taller too.
Yeah. That isn't. Yeah, she looks like she'd be another weight class up at least.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't know if it was because after Marcus Bar that she was at it, or actually she's bigger than that.
Right.
But she's taller, and you look at the shoulder difference.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing is, that's a big difference in the shoulders.
Yeah. In which another player 3 entered the chat room. Chris Cyborg talk about Ronda Rousey was dodging her at 145 for the longest. Now she's coming out of retirement to fight Gina Carano at 145. Come on.
Ronda don't.
That's the boogeyman.
She can't handle. Yeah, she couldn't handle it last time. Nah, she couldn't. No way. She's got a very good chance of winning this one.
Be an armbar, especially grappling doesn't get. It's hard to get old. Striking, you have your lucky punch and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But grappling, you can be dominant. Mm-hmm. She has a judo background. She has a black. I think she's trained under there. Cesar Gracie. That's what she got her training on there for her jiu-jitsu.
Hopefully, she's been training her striking as well.
Yeah. Well, you seen the video of her shadow boxing?
Yeah. How recent was that? Was that very recent?
2016.
Yeah. Okay. That's why I'm saying. Yeah.
I haven't seen recent.
She's been training.
She was doing head movement while she was trying. She's making me dizzy. Yeah. Making her opponent dizzy. Now, for the Netflix part, what do you think about the entering the platform wars wars of. The thing is that a way for them to compete against the UFC, consider they didn't get the UFC deal. They went through Paramount Plus rather than Netflix.
Do I think? Maybe to an extent. I just they did the last few boxing matches for around the Paul brothers. It seems like they already have something worked out to me, at least. So that's what it makes me think anyway, is that there's already something worked out, so they just keep using them because of that. I don't know that they're really, maybe they want an answer to the Paramount thing, but I don't know that they need one per se.
Yeah. Which is interesting because Jake Paul has been really vocal about the UFC not paying the fighters, in which this promotion would be to MVP, which is Jake Paul's promotion. And also Netflix is their distributor for their fight. It's weird because the last fight, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, Dana was one of the main promoters during the time for that fight. It was through Netflix.
Yeah.
And enough for Netflix to pull one of the UFC biggest pay-per-view draw with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
For one of their cards. But also, I don't know who else is going to be in that card too. For me, obviously going to be kind of like one. They do Jiu-Jitsu, they do kickboxing, they do Muay Thai, and they do MMA. Different events. They just expanded their portfolio.
Yeah.
When it comes to sports entertainment, because they really have NFL games in there too. They have boxing. Maybe they're expanding on the combat sports side.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, Netflix taking over everything. They're doing podcasts too now. Do you know that?
No, I hadn't heard that.
They have podcasts on Netflix now.
Hey, give us a listen on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shout it out. Hit your boy up. Get some views. We'll binge watch this podcast the whole time. Do you think this opens doors for fighters outside the UFC structure?
I mean, I don't think so. It seems, well, we'll wait and see what this has in store. Maybe I'll be surprised, but it seems like more their thing is picking out matches that people would dream of but think aren't going to happen. You know, the weird kind of random matches that, you know, you think a fighter's done and now they're back and they're, you know.
It's kind of the equivalent of bare knuckle fighting.
What's that?
Kind of the equivalent of bare knuckle fighting, but for MMA.
Yeah, I think more watchable than bare knuckle, to be completely honest, just because it's like bogus matches that you wouldn't expect. It's going to bring a lot of people. It's going to be really easy. I think there's probably not going to be a lot of matches, so you can pay the fighters really well. And then the number of views is just going to be, you know, really, really good.
Yeah, so how many houses have you able to hit as far as views? Because how many people have Netflix account?
Yep. Almost everybody, it seems like. I mean, it seems like if you have a streaming service, you probably have Netflix.
Yeah, most of the people that you know that have Netflix account.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It depends how they're doing this one, because how many other businesses are trying to compete against the UFC? Elite XC, Affliction, Strike Force, they got bought out. Pride, they got bought out by Sufa. Yep. And all those organizations, Bellator went on there and got bought out by PFL. So we'll see how they do, because the UFC has been going since '93 and they're still going strong.
Very. Yeah.
And it's still the gold standard.
Right. Exactly.
But so many things you have the Pioneer or something and they just crash, and then they get substituted by something better.
Right. Usually they can't adapt that well, but the UFC has been adapting extremely well.
Yeah. Even during the reality TV era, they were able to adapt their own TV show.
Through COVID, they adapted through that.
That's the only sport that was competing during the time.
And I think that helped it immensely. I don't think they got any worse during COVID. I think a lot of businesses took hits. I don't think the UFC did. Maybe they did money wise, but their viewership went up then.
Yeah, I mean, they had their own fight island to sanction their fights.
Yeah, I wouldn't be blown away if they were like not making as much money at that time, but the fact that it was exposure to more people who probably wouldn't normally watch the sport, but they had nothing else to watch, that I think probably helped them ultimately.
Yeah. You get new fans too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always good for business.
So it's pretty impressive to see.
Yeah, we'll see how Netflix does.
Yep.
Because that's on the Jake. I don't know how long he's been doing this promotion because he's been boxing. I don't know he'll be for their combat boring.
Yeah, I'm curious. I have a feeling he'll do well. It seems like presentation is his thing. I mean, he did YouTube for a while.
Was it Vines before then?
It may have been.
Yeah, because they have Vines and a lot of them move over to YouTube.
Yeah. But just kind of like showmanship is his thing. It is his game ultimately. Even though, I mean, recently he's been boxing, but really he's doing it for views, you know? So he seems to be playing a pretty smart game. I have a feeling he'll probably do pretty well with it.
He strike goal in everything that he touches.
Yeah.
Now, next one we're going to talk about, another announcement that was released this week was Gordon Ryan retired for good. No longer competing, the most dominant no-gi grappler of this era. He had a lot of health battles with his tummy issues, gut biome issues. I want to talk about his GOAT discussion. Do you think that what do you rank him as far as GOAT discussion?
Unfortunately, there's a lot of factors that are coming into that. You know, I feel like he's probably is the GOAT, in my opinion. But I feel like the steroids are a massive factor in that, and not just because he's strong. I think it's because they help you recover quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you didn't use them for muscle, the ability to train more and harder, I think it has to give you an advantage.
Yeah,
I know he
comes from a
studies
gym
like what's that?
He comes from a gym that trains every day. Remember,
Right.
Craig Jones hated that training under Danaher. They train every day.
Yeah.
If you are able to get that extra juice to be able to train more than anybody else.
That's the thing. I don't think like put Marcelo Garcia on steroids and he might be better than Gordon. You know what I mean? It's just it's your body's ability to hold up through the training is a major factor, in my opinion, for the limit of what you can obtain. So I mean, if you don't consider steroids cheating, yeah.
Question: do you remember him before juicing as being like the outstanding of a competitor? I think he was 165 at the time.
I think he was very good, was he not?
Yeah, but
Because I remember like, what's that?
I think he lost to Felipe Pena. That's one of his first losses, and that's when he started to juicing.
Yeah.
So if he was going to step in a competition now, and if he wasn't juicing, do you think he'd be able to beat those guys?
I would like to think so. Just, I mean, part of it just being an age thing, because I think Penn is quite a bit older. I would like to think that, I mean, Gordon obviously is putting the time in. That you cannot take away from him. He is putting in the time. He knows.
But he had to put the time without the juice, do you think?
I think so. I think he would be right up there with the top.
Will he be able to be Nicky Rod? Do you think he'll be able to be Nicky Rod of the juice? As close as those matches were.
No. Yeah, no way. Actually, thinking about it.
I mean, how good Nicky Rod is.
Yeah, exactly. With how close it's been when he is on the juice, yeah, there's no way he would be able to beat Nicky Rod. Yeah, that's the thing. I remember before he was juicing, like I remember a really good match between him and Cornelius. I think a brown belt. That was a really fun match to watch. Was he juicing in the Buchecha match?
Was that Polaris?
I think it was Polaris. Was he juicing at that point? He might have just started.
Yeah, because I think it started 2016 somewhere. When was that match? Buchecha. Because Buchecha is huge. That's 2019. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Well into the cycles by then.
Yeah, it was at least the third cycle. Do you know what he called him Buchecha? Do you know what it means? It means big cheeks in Portuguese.
Really?
Well, he was little, he had big cheeks because he's chunky.
Yeah.
So that's Buchecha means.
That's funny. So is it just like normal in it seems like in the South American cultures to nickname people insulting things.
Oh yeah, even in Hispanic
Okay,
culture, yeah, they call you the most insulting thing. Like yeah, that's you got stuff with that. For
because
example,
my go for it.
my brother, his nickname is Chirri, which is that short for Chirrión, which means a whiner. Because when he's a baby, he used to cry so much. So his nickname, whenever you go to Panama, that's his nickname, Chirri. Because he's
Can't outgrow
whine.
it.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, you get stuck with a nickname. Mine is Cholo.
Cholo.
Yeah, which is my hair is in Mexico it means something else, but in Panama they call indigenous people because my hair was spiky.
Wow, yeah.
So that's they call me Cholo because I have
I remember
spiky
you
hair.
saying that. There was because like my dad goes to Brazil sometimes,
Hmm.
and one of the sons of the guys that is a pastor down there. I think his nickname is essentially Fatty, is what they're calling him.
Yeah,
I think it's Gordo,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, gordo.
Yeah, so this is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you get stuck with them. Even like when I think it's an immigrant thing too because my coach, because I was 215 when I was in high school, I was chunky, and my coach, he's from Iran, and he nicknamed me Seafood. Oh yeah, that's seafood. Like ever thought it was seafood like that's seafood?
He's
But actually, my name,
seafood, so he eats it.
yeah, seafood he eats it. But they thought it was seafood, like the food.
Yeah.
So people nickname my brother Shrimp because he's little.
Oh, dang. Yeah, that's far worse.
Yeah, so he has seafood and shrimp. That's the nickname. So everybody from high school, they don't know my real name. They just know me by seafood or shrimp.
That's funny.
Seafood, he eats it. That's what I got stuck with. So fair enough.
That's so funny.
But yeah, that's the thing about it. You get stuck with it, and nothing will follow you to the grave, even to your gravestone.
Yeah.
Derving seafood, right
Yeah,
on
I
there.
mean, look at Buchecha. Now everybody knows him by Buchecha, and he's
Yeah,
famous.
yeah. What's the name? Jacare. Jacare. His nickname is it's like crocodile.
Okay.
That's what Jacare means. Everybody knows about Jacare. Jacare Sosa.
Okay. Okay. That was not too bad.
No, that's not bad. And yeah, they have different ones that I can't remember now because something you know about their name, you know about their real name. But yeah, back to the topic of discussion for Gon Ryan. Do you think what do you think is gonna happen now that he walks away? That is, do you think who's gonna come up? Well, they already has a guy, Lou Griffith, in his own gym
Mhm.
heavyweight. We forgot to mention Marigali, UFC BJJ last week too.
Yep.
He was competing after 17-month layoff. He had 4
Yeah.
surgeries that I know that he had.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah. Apparently that was no joke that he went through there.
Yeah, because he had knee surgery, he has shoulder surgery, all stuff. You have to get fixed.
I'll be honest, I don't think a whole lot's going to change. I know Gordon was like seen as at the top, but he wasn't that active.
Mhm.
He hasn't
That's
been that
true.
active for a long time. So it just like I know he had a few matches that he beat certain people, but it hasn't felt like he's been a reigning champion for a long time.
Mhm. He was dominant during his short period.
Yeah.
Do you think dominance is about longevity or peak in that case?
I feel like longevity, to be honest. I feel like that's a true display of dominance because then you get to see a wider variety of opponents. You are in the crosshairs for longer, so you get to see more developed games against that person.
Yeah. Going back to the Roger Gracie discussion. Let's go see what the
Exactly.
guys Marcelo Garcia, somebody who was really dominant. And then
Hmm.
he retired, came back and going against Buchecha and submitted him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like it's like proof.
Goal
Like a
never
lot
gets
of
old.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's a little different in grappling in that it's harder to get lucky, but at the same time, there's still a little bit of like maybe he got lucky. Maybe that one guy that he faced to become a champion was like his game was the bane of that guy's existence. Maybe it just happened to be the niche, the what is it, the niche in his armor, something like
Yeah,
that.
changing his armor.
Yeah, the chink in his armor. And then the next guy comes along and knocks him right out. That just doesn't feel dominant. They might
Yeah.
be very good.
Yeah. Because matchup makes styles makes matchup. One guy may be good, the other one. It's kind of like
Well,
cancel
like
each
you
other
were
out.
talking about with the wrestlers, one guy lost to the other guy twice.
AJ Ferrari, that's the
Yeah,
summon.
yeah. Um, so it makes the rankings a little bit hard because it's like, one guy's game works better against this guy, but not so good against this guy. Yeah. Um, so dominance to me is displayed by, the longevity of the reign.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with you. Because peak, you get big peak for everybody picks a certain time.
mm,
Every champion has to peak. That's how they become a champion.
yep.
But consistently dominance. For example, like Anderson Silva, when he was dominant for so many years, champion. In MMA, another example is Demetrius Johnson. He was able to be dominant in 2 different organizations over
Yep.
a certain period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was displaying a lot of technique too along the way.
That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah. That's also a cool part is when, yeah, not only is it a long dominant reign, but they also display a lot of different styles or techniques. It's like, wow, this guy's really mastered this.
Yeah. All realms.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so rare and so hard to get.
Yeah. It's beautiful to see too.
It is. Yeah.
For such a savage sport, it's good to see a art display involved a game. Like before we close out the episode, I want to talk about something like specific as far as wrestling for high school. I have a little something right here. It's like the high school seniors who step off the mat for the last time. Maybe you won, maybe you lost, maybe your seasons ended the way you dreamed, maybe it didn't. But either way, you folded up your singlet, you untie your shoes, and you walk off that mat knowing something was different. For some of you, that was the last competitive wrestling match of your life, and that's heavy because wrestling isn't just a sport. It's mornings before school, it's cutting weight, it's running when nobody else awake, it's shaking hands with somebody who just tried to break you. It's learning how to be uncomfortable and not run from it. You spend years building versions of yourself that most people your age will never understand. Discipline, accountability, resilience. And now there's no next practice. There's no bracket waiting next weekend. There's just life. And here's what I want you to understand. The medals fade, the records get broken, the crowd forgets, but the habits that you build, those stay. Wrestling gave you something that doesn't disappear when the whistle stops. It taught you how to suffer without quitting, how to lose without collapsing, how to win without getting comfortable. That is a weapon in the real world. Some of you will wrestle in college, some of you won't. It doesn't matter because the real victory was never the podium. It was the person you became when nobody was watching. When you made weight, when you drilled one more time, when you got up after getting taken down. Life is going to test you different now. No referee, no clear score, no buzzer to save you. But when pressure hits, you won't panic because you've already been there. You've already stood in the center of the mat with everything on the line. So to every senior who just wrestled their last match, be proud. Not just what you did, but of who you built. The world doesn't hand out brackets, but it does reward discipline, and you're being training for that your entire life. The chapter closed, but you're not done competing. You're just stepping into a bigger arena. And remember, the mat may be behind you, but what it gave you is still with you forever. And now to the parents. There's a moment most people don't see. It's not when the whistle blows. It's when the hands is raised. It's not even when the final match ends. It's later, when the gym is empty, when the lights start shutting off, when the mat gets rolled up, and you realize that was the last time. To the parents sitting on those bleachers one more time, you didn't just watch the match end. You watched a chapter close. You remember the first practice, the oversized headgear, the nervous look before the first tournament? Do you remember the early mornings, the long drives, gas station dinners, hotel hallways? Do you remember the tears after the tough losses, the quiet car rides, the I don't know if I'm good enough conversations? And you stayed steady. You didn't wrestle the matches, but you carried that weight. You paid the fees, you sat on metal bleachers for hours, you clapped when no one else did. You believe sometimes more than they did. And now, no more brackets on the fridge, no more tournaments, weekends, no more pacing at the edge of bed, pretending your heart isn't racing. It's quiet, and quiet can be heavy. But here's what I hope you see. The medals were never the point. The podium was never the prize. The real victory was who your child became in the process. They learned how to be uncomfortable, how to prepare, how to close without collapsing, how to win without arrogance. They learn discipline in a world that rewards shortcuts. They learn accountability in a culture that avoids it. They learn that efforts matters. And they learn it because you show up, because you sacrifice, because you invested time when it wasn't convenient, because you chose long-term character over short-term comfort. That doesn't disappear when the mat gets rolled up. The whistle may be silent now, but the habits remain, the resilience remains, the edge remains. One day, years from now, when life hits them hard, when pressure show up without a referee, when there's no scoreboard to tell them where they stand, they won't panic because they've already been there. They already stood alone in the center of something difficult, and they'll carry your voice within. So if tonight feels emotional, let it be, because you didn't just raise a wrestler, you raised a fighter. Not someone who throws punches, but someone who doesn't run when life gets hard. The man may be rolled up, but what's built on it will never disappear. And that's something no final whistle can take away. That's all I have for today. What do you have? Anything else for tonight?
No, that was good. That was, yeah, it's very true.
Yeah. It is important to teach kids, man, combat sport,
Hmm.
building character, because you have so many kids, man, that you had to go through the gym and they do so well, and eventually they're on to the wrong path and they just lose the way
Right.
along the
Right.
way. You just,
Character, confidence. Yeah. It's a good recipe for life.
yes, it prepare you when and get tough. You used to be in tough things in
Hmm.
front of a lot of people.
Right.
That's half for today. You have anything else?
Nope. It's good to hear.
Okay. You want to close it up?
Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed the cast. Give us a listen on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadios, and iTunes. Give us a follow on Instagram. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks for tuning in to the Mad Matters podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube so you never miss an episode. Drop us a review, share with your training partners, and keep rolling on and off the mat. Until next time, keep fighting, keep learning, keep growing.